Hello, this is Rick Saltarelli with Salty Breeze Cruise Planners with this week's segment of Beyond Your Front Door. And today I have Peggy Steele back with me. She also represents the Holland America line. Welcome back, Peggy.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be here and now get to talk about Holland America Line.
And what a line it is. It is one of the most storied cruising brands there is, isn't it?
I think that's a great way of putting it. We were founded in 1873 and we got our name because we sailed from Rotterdam to New York. So that's how Holland America came to be. So that's 148 years that we've been taking guests and cargo, might I tell you. That's how we started as well, was having cargo and passengers on board our ship.
Yeah, and just so an amazing company, rich history, both sides of the Atlantic Ocean, and you have very unique ships, more so than most other lines. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I think what's so wonderful about the Holland America brand is that we are a premium cruise line, but we are considered mid-sized. So our ships are anywhere from 1,432 guests, which in the Mega Market line is considered small, up to 2,666. And I think that bodes well for us because we still can offer an intimate cruising experience. We have our music walk, which has some great different venues to go to all night long for different kinds of music, whether it's BB King's Blues Club or Lincoln Center Stage for some classical music, or maybe even the piano bar. We have the smaller ships that have one piano player, but the larger ships have two dueling piano players. And then on the larger ships, we have our Rolling Stone rock room. So that's a whole different kettle of fish for the kind of music to have rock music on a cruise ship. And then our culinary, I think, chefs, we have six different culinary chefs that we had, and we added two more in 2020. So now we're up to eight chefs on board that really, I think, since we spend more money per passenger per day, you will actually notice that on the Holland America line ships.
Well, that is amazing. So great culinary experience and great entertainment, all part of that's just part of your cruise fare. So that's pretty
Mhm.
amazing. And talking about ships, I think you have a new ship on the horizon, don't you?
We do. We have our third Pinnacle class ship. We've already named her the Rotterdam, which will be our flagship because remember, that's where we sailed from in the very beginning. So Rotterdam will be very important to us when she comes on board this year. She's being built in Fincantieri, Italy, at the shipyard there, right outside of Venice. And we are due to take possession of her at the end of July. She will have her inaugural season in Europe. And we're thrilled because she will have that Rolling Stone room that I talked about. So that will be on this new third Pinnacle class ship.
And these ships, as we mentioned earlier, these are not those mega ships with 5 or 6 thousand passengers on it. 2,600 guests, brand new ship, amazing experience, I'm sure.
Indeed. Indeed.
And so let's talk a little bit about Alaska. Alaska is one of my favorite itineraries, and Holland America has been there longer than anybody else, haven't they?
We have. We've been sailing since 1947. So going into our 2021 season, that will have 74 years of experience behind us. So our new tagline is "We are Alaska, by land, by sea, by experts." So we really pride ourselves because we were announced as a concessioner for Glacier Bay. We have more permits to go into Glacier Bay than any of the other major cruise lines. And I think it's important to know that we're going to have actually six ships in Alaska this summer season.
Wow, and that's a lot, and that's amazing. The so let's stay with Alaska because one of those great offerings that are around the world, but really I think Alaska stands out, are the land and sea journeys where you do a little bit of land and you do your cruise. And Alaska, you have so many offerings there. Do you have maybe one or two that are just standout itineraries for you?
I do because I've done Alaska. I think I've been to Alaska 12 times now in my 15 years with Holland America. So I could go to Alaska every single summer season. I always do the land because I think that's where you get the most enrichment from the unspoiled, from it being the last frontier. If you want to see the animals, Denali National Park is the best place to go. We offer the 8-hour tundra wilderness tour on all of our 2 and 3 nights in Denali. And I would highly recommend that you do at least 2 nights in Denali to get the full experience. The other thing that Holland America offers that none of the other major cruise lines is the Yukon. So we do go into this Canadian province, which is really, really a fun way to do it because you actually go in by the White Pass Railway and then make your way up to Whitehorse, which is the capital of the Yukon, not Dawson City, where they still have people paying for their services in gold dust, if you can believe that.
Oh, well, yeah, Alaska really is that last frontier for most people to go and see. And most people that plan an Alaska cruise, they're thinking about high mountains, glaciers, and wildlife. And you will enhance your opportunities to witness all of those only if you do the land portion. Yes, you will see some of that on the ocean when you're on a cruise, but if you take the land portion, you're going to increase your opportunity to see all of those. And so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about around the world cruises. They are probably the most unique cruise. I want to do one. Most unique cruise. Who would be a good candidate for that world voyage?
Well, we're going to have one in 2022, and we've already announced 2023 as well. And I think that we kind of put them into 4 categories. So I'll share that with you and let you see how the guests kind of fall into it. We have our status seekers, and those are the ones that want to say they've been on a world cruise. Many of our repeat guests have been on world cruises 3 or 4 times. It's just amazing that they will go ahead and book for the next year while they're on board. Then we have what we call our country or our port collectors. I personally am a port collector. So I like to try when I'm going on my next adventure, I want to go to somewhere I haven't been before. So we'll see that people come and they'll pick a particular world cruise because it's going to a part of the world that maybe they haven't been to. And so they'll pick up that country or that port. Then we have our home away from home guests. And those are maybe they are in a retirement community and they just want to get away for 3.5 months. So they will come and do a world cruise with us. Or I think lastly, and maybe this is the most important, it would be to me, these are our guests that want to celebrate, let's call it a milestone. Maybe they have just retired and so now they can do 100+ cruise days. Maybe they have a big birthday that they want to celebrate or a big anniversary, or they just want to get on and maybe even take some friends or family with them to celebrate being together. So that's the kind of guests that we will see that will actually book one of our grand world voyages.
Sure. And they would be amazing. Like I say, I'd love to go on one of those, but everybody has the time that they can go. So you have another product for them, which I believe is Grand Voyages.
We do. And on our Grand World, those are, of course, the longer ones. On our Grand Voyage, we have Africa. And we had to cancel, unfortunately, for this year. So we are now offering it in October of 2022. And the kind of cool part about that is that you can do a segment of that. The same with Grand South America. We're going to do Grand South America in January of 2022 on the Volendam. And we're going to offer a full circumnavigation of South America or and that's round trip from Fort Lauderdale. So that's kind of a real plus for anyone who's in the Florida market because they probably won't have to fly. But if they want to do maybe just like a 40-day segment of that, because it's over 70 days, they would be able to go from Fort Lauderdale down and around the Cape, and then end up in Buenos Aires. So there are some other options for just our grand voyages.
And they would also be a great experience. And maybe
Yes.
get some of those bucket list items off of your list as well. That's
Yes.
South America or Africa.
Right.
And so this is my final question of the day. And I want to bring us back to the Caribbean because there's a lot of talk these days about the private island experiences, but you've had a private island for a long time. So what can you tell us about Half Moon Cay?
Half Moon Cay we've had for over 20 years now, and it's located in the Bahamas. Holland America does own it. However, we do share it with our sister brand Carnival, but there's never two ships there at one time. It's just whenever Holland America's there, we're the only ship that's there. And you have to actually tender over to it because it's so shallow where the dock is that the ship can't get up to it. But that kind of adds to the experience of now you're going to be off the ship for the day. You don't have to worry about anything. You can sit under a wonderful shaded area, or you can get out in the sun and do all the water sports. We have a beach barbecue that's offered. Of course, there's no charge for any of that. But if you'd want to do maybe a separate shore excursion, I did the horseback riding. So you horseback ride around the island, and then you go down to the beach and you change horses, and you get on a horse that, honest to goodness, cannot wait to get in the surf. So they just take off galloping into the surf. My husband doesn't like horses, so he did the glass bottom boat. And we have jet skis and lots of other really fun things to do. Or you can even rent a cabana or a villa for the day if you'd like to have a private area. Lots of families do that when there's several of them. It's a great place to go. The kids can still enjoy everything and enjoy the water and the beach, and then have a nice place to come back to. So we are thrilled that for the last 18 years, we have won Best Private Island.
Oh, well, that is amazing. So we've talked a lot about lot of great destinations and a lot of great ships. So smaller ships, more intimate. We have great itineraries like Alaska and the Grand Voyages and around the world cruises and Europe and the Caribbean. So a lot of reasons to be thinking about Holland America for your next cruise. I'm Rick Saltarelli. I'm with Salty Breeze Cruise Planners, the place where we help create lifelong lasting memories. And I've been talking with Peggy Steele of Holland America Cruises. And thank you very much for being with us today. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks so much, Rick.
Thanks, Peggy.
Bye-bye.